In many of my previous videos, I talked about being more and doing less. And this week, because of the energy lineup and just the way everything is, and because we're moving through such a massive ascension process at this time, this message is kind of more important than ever to get into beingness. And what I mean by getting into beingness is like when you're always in your head and always just thinking about, what to do next, or what's the next thing on my list, or what's the next thing that I should do, for my business or for my kids or for my family or whatever. You're never in the present moment. You're always in the future. You're always just like contemplating. You're always pulling yourself out of that present moment, and you're constantly shoving yourself into the future, or you're like staying in the past, like looking in the past, right? Looking back at yesterday, looking back at what you didn't do. And there was this message that I was getting from Spirit about how incredibly important it is to use the present moment to actually tune in, to figure out your next step. Like by being present, you always know what the next step is naturally because you're present, and you're going to have a feeling, you're going to have a thought, or even just following your bliss. I'm hearing like following the flow, your own flow. The more you are in the present moment, the more you are in beingness, the more you are actually just guided to the next step. And because we're in such an age of, productivity and doing and getting things done, this is more important than ever right now to actually slow down, because in the doing and in this hyper sped up world and these, I see so many videos and posts and different things online about like hustle culture and just like hustle and like grind and get up and go and do and whatever. What that actually does is it pulls us out of the present moment. It pulls us out of what we are meant to be experiencing in the right here, right now. It pulls you out of feeling. It disconnects you from how you are actually feeling in that present moment, because you're so goal oriented. It's like you're so forcing yourself forward and pushing yourself forward that people think and believe in the illusion that is progress, that I'm making headway or I'm moving ahead because I'm pushing myself forward constantly. But you're not actually making progress. You actually make more progress when you pause, when you slow down, when you go into stillness, when you just observe how you are feeling in the present moment without forcing or rushing or making yourself do something that you're not maybe even feeling, or vibing. And this isn't about like just, super spiritual, ungrounded, like, oh, go with the flow all the time and don't do anything. That's not what this is about. Taking action should come from this intuitive, this deeply feeling kind of place. Because I notice for myself, for example, like when I just tap in to what feels best for me in the next moment. So I got home after taking care of that commitment I talked about in yesterday's video. I got home and then I was like, okay, let's dive straight into work, right? And like, let's get things done and let me sit down and film a video. But in that very moment, as I just like paused for a second and I just gave myself permission just to sit on the couch, have a breather. I've just been around, like hundreds of people all day long, and I just need to like, recalibrate a little bit and give myself a little bit of space and just a little time to sort of detox everyone's energy, because now I'm back in my home and in my safe space, right? It's like when I did that and when I sat down, when I tuned in to what I wanted to do next was just listen to music. I just wanted to like jam out a little bit and listen to some music, something that was like uplifting and fun and exciting. I even got up and danced and like did, like that is truly going with the flow. And I just allowed myself to go with that flow. And then when I did that and like I got that out of my system, and clearly the dancing actually was this like release of energy. It was almost like I cleared my own energy from just the amount of people I was around all day, right? And clearing my energy then allowed me to move into the next moment, present moment. And in the next present moment, I felt like way more chilled out, way more vibed out. And I'm like, okay, now I can sit down and film this video. And I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Like, there was no forcing. There was no rushing. There was no sense of urgency. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's just this flow, and it's a different kind of flow. It's a very grounded, present moment kind of flow where you just allow, where you're not pushing and grinding and hauling ass and forcing and, shoving yourself into situations, into the next, into the next, into the next, so fucking much that you never, ever are aware of how you are feeling in the present moment. You're like so detached when you do that from the present moment. You don't even know what the present moment feels like. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what it's offering you, because you can't tap into any of that because you're distracted. So the most flow, the most that you're actually going to get out of your day, the most productive that you can be, comes through this state of flow. And I know Spirit is like showing me this and reminding me of this for a reason. Like I said, as I got home, like my brain instantly went to that. Let's get productive. Let's get on, and do the next thing now, because I didn't get a chance to work on anything today. So, and Spirit was like, no, like, calm down, chill out, just give yourself a moment to breathe. Like, that was a lot, I did a lot of driving today, going from place to place. So it was a busy day, and it just giving myself that breather, that moment to relax, that grace, that love, that self-love, and that compassion, to give myself that patience. This is what is required. This is how we can truly enjoy life, how you can truly connect to what feels best for you in every given moment, without overthinking, without overprocessing, without overdoing and burning yourself out. It's like, can we all just slow the fuck down a little bit and chill and relax and just be patient with yourself? Because when we do this, when I do this, and the next person does this, and the next person, we are all collectively contributing to humanity's ascension. We are moving through a massive, massive ascension portal right now. We are moving, like the 1212 portal is opening up in a couple of days. Like, we are really, really moving through a massive shift. And even the 1212 portal is about this big shift between 3D, 5D, right? It's having this experience of like moving into a 5D state. You know what a 5D state feels like? It's just blissful. It is heavenly. It is not rushed. It is not super fast paced. It is this very trusting, very secure, I'm hearing, very safe place. And that is the heaven on earth energy that we create. And that we create consciously. We choose to create this. So to ascend into this 5D that we are all moving into, that all of humanity is rising into, the more people that become conscious, the more people that become aware, the more people that become patient and kind and loving and compassionate with themselves, and give themselves permission to just feel into each moment, to stop rushing so much. The more people that do that, the more we support others, the more we are clearing karma, clearing baggage, clearing generational curses, clearing all kinds of bloodline issues. Like, there are so many things that we are clearing collectively, individually, for our ancestors and for future generations, by just allowing more, by just trusting more, by slowing down more. And this is something that I never used to do. I was always in like this anxious hurry. I always felt like I had so much anxiety because I always felt this like incredibly fast-paced rush of the world that I felt like I had to keep up with, but I just couldn't keep up with it. It never felt right. I'm like, why don't I move as fast as everyone else? Like, why can't I move as quickly as everyone else? It's because I was never meant to. because that was never healthy. It was never right. It's a very disconnected way of living. And what you are mostly disconnected from when you are rushing and when you're too quick is yourself. And you are absolutely ignoring how you are feeling. You're absolutely ignoring the present moment. You're missing the gifts of each present moment, the peace that I feel right now, the quietness, the candle that I lit when I got home. Like, it's like we miss so much of that. There's so many opportunities and opportunities in terms of ideas and thoughts and different things that can come in when you give yourself that time to just be still, to slow down, to be more present. So I really encourage you, again, this week, especially with Mars retrograde, with Mercury still in retrograde, with so many things, up in the air, and so much sort of like volatility and high energy and high intensity energy present this week. It's so graceful. It's so peaceful to give yourself permission to slow down. It's going to make you less stressed. It's going to make you less anxious. It's going to make you less reactive, less explosive, more in your heart, more out of your head, more at peace. Like, I just noticed how my energy shifted, and like, I just felt less conflicted even within myself. Even the whole like thoughts of like, figuring things out for my business and like making plans for 2025, even things like that. Like, I just found myself anxious about those things because I was in like this hurried pace. And the moment I gave myself permission to just chill and slow down, all of a sudden I don't feel any of that. Like, I just feel like, you know what, I'm right on track. I'm just going to allow things to come to me. I'm going to allow myself to unfold naturally. And I'm going to allow myself to work on whatever I am like inspired. I don't even want to use the word motivation, but inspired to work on. Just the way I felt inspired after my little dancing to sit down and film this video. This is pure inspiration coming through right now. And I didn't have to write notes. I didn't have to prepare in any way. I just sat down and here I am. So do you see how flow and presence allows answers to come? It allows inspiration to come. It allows peace, and it puts you back into your heart, takes you out of your mind. And that slowing down gives you answers. It gives you ideas. It gives you insight, inspiration, all kinds of things that can't come. These are those opportunities I talked about that we miss when we are rushing. So slow down, my friend. Nothing is going anywhere. Nothing is going to fall away. The sky isn't going to fall if you don't slow down. Everything is okay. Be at peace. Hear what is in the silence. Allow the messages to come through. Allow the inspiration to come through. So stay in flow, my friend. Stay in flow.